Woman sitting next to the man, they are looking at the phone and laughing. Okay. This was already selected from before, so I don't need to go to tools again and select this. Okay. And let's wait for the result. All right. So our image is ready, and just have a look at this. Wow. Let's look at both the images right now. The original image, the first image, as well as the headshot of the woman, and just compare the entire scene. I mean, this looks like an actual photograph, right? Like if someone sees this, nobody can say, yeah, this is AI or something like that. No. If you show it, especially to someone for the first time, I would even say anytime, to be frank, these days, okay? Because Nano Banana is so good. Earlier on, we used to say, yeah, if someone hasn't seen it and you're showing them for the first time, no. I think with this, no matter how many times you show, this is a photograph. I mean, isn't this absolutely amazing, okay? So this was kind of an example where, you can work and create a composite from two images. Now, this is how Google Gemini works. There's nothing else that you can really do here. Let me just explain some of the features here, okay? One is I can hit these dots. If I don't like the result, actually not the dot, sorry, I can just hit redo. So then I'm saying that, yeah, maybe I didn't like the result. Just run it again. That's one of the things that you can do right from there. You can copy the prompt and all. Apart from that, not really too much. There's one very important feature which I just want to show you, which because you can see, right, you can share these images, you can tell Google Gemini, was it a good result, because then they pass on the feedback to their team and all. So these are pretty simple things to understand. One very underrated feature when you use Google Gemini is this little button here, which says use microphone. This is especially important if you're using Google Gemini as an app on your phone, because what happens when you're using these apps on your phone, remember the keyboard on our phones is pretty small and it can be tough to type. So if you are typing in prompts, sometimes, okay, if you're feeling a bit lazy, it's always better to just switch on the mic and speak. You're basically speaking out the prompt. And this microphone that Google Gemini has, it's very accurate in transcribing your audio. Even if you have, some sort of a weird accent or something, don't worry about it, okay? It just flawlessly transcribes it, so everything comes on there accurately. Then you can even write longer prompts, because sometimes you might need to really give it more context depending on the type of the image that you're editing. So if it's a long para, you may not want to type that, especially on the phone. So you can always hit this microphone button, even on your desktop or on your app. It's available at both the places, okay? Right now, actually, I'm not hitting this. You might be thinking, Kush, can you show me? The only reason is my mic is actually recording the audio that you're hearing. If I hit this right now, this mic that my voice is, where my voice is being recorded into, that'll just stop, okay? But usually, there's no rocket science here. Just hit the button and say, and that's it. It'll just come there, and just hit generate, okay? Now, before we move and just talk a bit more about Google Gemini, okay? Because I'm also going to be talking about some downsides here. I actually want to just show you so that you don't take Nano Banana for granted. Remember, in one of the initial videos, I told you that this is a contextual AI editor. That means you're supposed to basically edit images. And I told you this is not the first one, right? There have been a lot of ones before, which are competitors to this tool. And I'm often going to do this in this course, I'm going to show you examples from those tools also, so that you know how far ahead Nano Banana is. One of those tools is, let me open this up. Remember, I just mentioned ChatGPT. ChatGPT and Gemini are like arch enemies right now. ChatGPT also has the feature of uploading images. I mean, it looks exactly almost the same, right? I mean, just see this. Everything looks the same, right? I can also upload multiple files here and ask it to edit the image in the same way. It also has the ChatGPT 4.0 image generator. Now the ChatGPT 5 model image is also there. Recently it was released. But the point is, ChatGPT can do exactly what we did with Gemini. It's just that their models are different. They don't work with Nano Banana, but you'll see that how inferior they are as compared to Nano Banana. So let me do exactly the same thing just to demonstrate this. I'm going to upload both these images, type in exactly the same prompt, and let's see the result here. All right, so everything is ready. Both the images are here, the prompt, and we can just do this. All right, so our image is ready here, and just have a look at this. I mean, there is no comparison, right? First of all, this looks so AI-ish. I mean, you can clearly see this is an AI photograph, but that is also not the biggest problem here. Is if you compare these to the original, it's not the same man, it's not the same woman we had on the headshot. Nothing looks real about it, okay? If you show someone this, even on the first time, they'll say, yeah, this is an AI shot. Forget about consistency. So it's not consistent, has that AI look, doesn't look real, and you can see how inferior this is as compared to Nano Banana. And trust me, this is actually one of the highest rated AI image generators out there, the image generator by ChatGPT. And even that is nowhere close to Nano Banana. So I hope that you can understand why Nano Banana has become so popular. All right, so I hope that now you know how far ahead Nano Banana is. Now, before we close this particular video about Google Gemini as a platform, just want to talk about two of the downsides of using Google Gemini. One is if I just open up this image, I'm sure you must have already noticed that there's a little watermark here, okay? A couple of Google platforms do give this out, okay? So this can be like a giveaway that yes, this is an AI image. Now, it's not such a big deal because you can go on to any other AI editing tool out there, like the other platforms that we're going to be seeing, and you can ask them to remove the watermark. That's not a problem, okay? But do note that if you were to further edit this image inside Gemini, it'll actually add a second watermark, and you'll be able to see two watermarks. You can't do this inside Gemini, but you can take it onto any other platform and get rid of it. And you'll be seeing a couple of obviously, so many platforms in this course, okay? That's one thing. Secondly, if I was to download this image, okay, so I'm just hitting the download button, the resolution, okay, is not that great. So on Google Gemini, roughly you can say that on the longest edge, like whatever's the longest edge, because it might be a longer image also, okay, like that, but whichever, either the width or the height can be long. In this case, the width seems to be slightly longer, although this actually seems pretty much like a square, but it's going to be around roughly 1000 pixels, just slightly above 1000 pixels, okay? So we call this kind of like a 1K resolution. That means the longest edge has a max to max around just over 1000 pixels. And 1K resolution isn't that great. So if I just zoom in, you can see, right, kind of just reduces the quality. It just compresses the output a bit. That is also one of the downsides. The thing is, if you're only into social media images, this is not such a big problem because on the phones, you won't really be able to notice this too much. The benefit of having a compressed output, okay, for those for whom resolution is not very important, we've already seen that. The generations are pretty fast because there are going to be some platforms where the generations take more time to come, though they look sharp. So whether this is bad or good will completely depend on what you are going in for, but you don't have to worry about anything since we will be looking at those platforms which give a higher resolution and a much sharper photo also. But right now we are done with Google Gemini. For the next example, we will see that when we tackle the next platform for Nano Banana. I'll see you there.